Do you like living in the crowds of the city, or do you prefer the calmness of the country? Everyone has different opinions on these things, and they're based on many different aspects. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 80% of Americans live in urban areas, leaving the remaining 20% of Americans to live in rural areas. To avoid any confusion, the terms urban and city mean the same thing, and I will use them interchangeably throughout this speech, as well as the terms rural and country. These two culture groups are different in many ways. More specifically, city life and country life differ in cost, transportation, and attitudes. First, cost of living in the country is much cheaper than it is in the city. According to www.bls.gov, people of urban areas spend $5,000 more on housing than rural people do. And you'll see that on your first handout on that chart. Although people of the city are less likely to be homeowners, urban areas spend about $2,000 more on owning homes each year. Rural households spend $200 more on food at their own home, and urban households spend $600 more on food away from home. This leaves urban households to spend $400 more total on food. And then put that handout to the side to get to this next topic. Okay, second, transportation in the city and country vary on cost, convenience, and efficiency. From my previous source, I also found that in 2011, households of the country spent $3,000 on gas and motor oil, and those in the city only spent about $2,600 on these. Those $400 each year add up to quite a bit over time. Due to overpopulation, public transit is usually very crowded, and this ruins the convenience that they might think public transit has. According to www.mnn.com, cities win the head-to-head efficiency matchup in transportation, thanks to their mass transit systems and denser layouts. This is a picture of city transportation, and you'll see that many people walk or ride bikes, and then this is the public transit, which makes it more efficient, like what I just said. And then this is the country transportation, which people just drive cars because everything's more spaced out and they pretty much have to. Last, living in the country gives residents different attitudes and feelings than living in the city does. www.rentpmi.com says rural lifestyles can be wonderfully refreshing because of the surrounding nature and quietness. And that's what you can see in this picture. It just seems calm and quiet. There's much more space in the country, which helps people avoid having annoying neighbors that they can't get away from. And as you can see, that this city is all jumbled up, and if you're living close to people, you might get annoyed by them after a while. In the city, you're less likely to see someone you know, and this eliminates the community feeling that is persistent in the country. And that's a chart, your second handout. It shows the happiness of people that live in rural areas and the happiness of people that live in urban areas. When it comes to a person making a decision between the country and the city, it truly is up to what they prefer. People can look at these differences however they want to, because what some people may see as a positive, others may see as a negative. Based on the three differences I spoke to you about, living in the country is better for the cost of living and the attitudes of people, but living in the city is better for the transportation costs and efficiency. I personally prefer the country life over the city life, but understand why someone may choose to live in the city. If you ever have to decide between the two, I hope you think about these things.
How long was it?